Welcome back to Breakfast Central. Let's go straight into the front pages of the newspapers. Very interesting stories, but we do have our guest who joins us live in the studio to analyze the big stories on the front pages. And you too can be part of the front pages by calling the phone number that you'd find shortly on the screen and go ahead and dial. And we'd like to hear your thoughts and also your shared analysis. Public Affairs Analyst Theophilus Akatugba joins us here live in the studio on a very interesting Tuesday morning. Welcome.
Morning, Mr. Akatugba.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Great
yes.
man. Good morning
yes.
to you.
Yes.
Pleasure to be here.
Yes, I mean, they say great men think alike. So,
yes.
I mean, we're happy to be thinking alike. But let's find out what our likeness is when it comes to the different stories we have on the front page. Our very first paper we'll be going to happens to be the Daily Independent. That's the first paper, and this morning it is loaded with so many stories. Farmers' seafood prices crashing over removal of roadblocks. To boost mechanized farming, Tinubu unveils 2,000 tractors, vows to make farming attractive. Remember what he said? Farming, agriculture will be made to look sexy.
Yes, sexy.
Yes, he used that word, said sexy agriculture. People started saying they wonder if Agbado will wear
Sexy apparel.
Sexy apparel.
Sexy apparel. I mean, and a lot of the political parties, some are adopting the Agbado as their symbol.
Exactly.
Especially the latest one coming from Ada.
Adako. Anyway, pledges to turn rural communities into prosperity hubs. Let's move on with more stories on the front page of Daily Independent. Don't compromise integrity of judiciary. CJN warns court administrators. Reps direct customs to halt 7% cease levy collection. Nigeria archives 40% revenue growth, hits 6.9 trillion naira milestone in Q1 2025. So Q1 report is in. It says that Nigeria, is it archives, or wanted to say achieves 40% revenue growth? Yeah, it achieves.
That's
40%.
A huge amount.
Yeah, 40% revenue growth, hit 6.9 trillion naira milestone in Q1. Shatima harps on informal sector business integration into AFTA. Iran says it retaliated against US, but let's just narrow it down. Let's go straight to the stories. Let's cut the chase. The very first story I'd like us to pick is 2027 elections, the one at the bottom there. Opportunity to create opposition against APC messed up, Baba Ahmed says. Baba Ahmed has spoken. He was there and he agreed to work with the current administration before he decided to say, you know what, I'm done. I'm no longer working with the current administration, cited his reasons. And then 6 months, he said, I remember quite vividly that after 6 months, the North will decide who they will support ahead of 2027. But now he's saying opportunity to create opposition in terms of the coalition. Was saying they messed it up. I mean, what's your take?
I think there's still time.
Can
he conclude now that they
there's a reason why it's concluded, but let's ask the experts.
Well, you know, from his point of view, I don't know what informed his opinion regarding the fact that when he said he messed it up means he has seen something that is critically wrong in what they are putting together. El-Rufai was on TV yesterday, and he was very, boisterous. And so if you, from that point, you would think you will not be able to, you will not accept Baba Ahmed's position. And so maybe there's something he knows that El-Rufai knows better than him, because he doesn't believe it's been messed up. He still believes that they have the capacity to come together and kick out the president. That's what El-Rufai believes. But you see, from my own observation, I tend to agree with Baba Ahmed, but because what they are doing, they have not been able to attract the right attention to themselves. And they, yes, they don't have the quality of unity that is required to be able to upstage a party as well consolidated like the APC as at now. We're not saying they can't improve. The chances are always there. Things can turn around for them. But for now, APC look too formidable for the kind of thing they are putting together, because the application for the registration of that party is at best a common thing that anyone can do. What is more important is to bring to Nigeria what is the alternative to what Tinubu is doing. They are not saying anything to
Yeah, but
Nigerians.
they're highlighting the things that are wrong with this government.
To
Like
say-
the interview yesterday, Mr. El-Rufai said, Malam Nasser El-Rufai said, the economy had tanked. And
It's the
said
easiest
many
thing
things.
to do.
And it's very interesting to note that this was the same man who the president delegated questions to in Chatham House.
Absolutely.
To answer. So what could have gone wrong?
Yeah,
Is it a wrong choice of judgment from his part? Because he was part of those that were selling this government to Nigerians. And in 2
No.
years,
He's
we're
very.
seeing a different story.
El-Rufai fell out with the government. He was supposed to be part of this government, one way or the other. He was edged out. We don't know why. Up till now, they didn't tell us exactly why. He was a shining boy, a star, someone we thought was going to be confirmed
Is he
first.
speaking facts, or there's some level of vindictiveness in his
Absolutely.
statement?
It's vindictiveness. I don't see El-Rufai speaking fact, because even his own son criticized him. Somebody is from his own family said if he were to be in part of the government, he will not hold the view that he currently holds. He has controlled that to a great extent. What I'm saying is El-Rufai is a man that I admire a lot. It's one very, I really admired from the time he was Minister of the FCT. But currently, he's falling out of the political, opportunity that he has had. So he is fighting to make a comeback. We must give him the chance to do it at best. But his association with Atiku, if Atiku comes up as other presidential candidate, it means he's dead on arrival.
Or Rotimi
And this could be what this man has seen. I think a Rotimi Amechi could give them a better chance, because the sentiment of the country is that the presidency should remain in the south. That is the correct sentiment, including the political elites in the north.
I asked the question yesterday. One of the papers yesterday had put a statement there and said the challenges. It called them the challenges, and I said it kind of like reminded us of what we see in sports or a video game, better still, and then put up their pictures. So if you look at the faces, the names of the people, you have Peter Obi, you have Rotimi Amechi, you have, of course, Nasser El-Rufai, you have Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, you keep naming them. Who eventually is just going to be the front man of this coalition? Because it seems like they're way too much. So I get the point that too much.
Recycling the same politicians.
So
that have
who's
been
going to
in
be the new
cycle
face?
since
Well, Peter Obi has already said he's not part of it.
Yes.
And so that means he's not likely to be the candidate of this new party. Now, Peter Obi has not also announced his own party.
Yes, we hear there's no coalition coming.
Yes, I think the man is seeing a movement towards shoring up Atiku. And that's why he said that they messed it up. He knows that Atiku is not going to form a coalition with you to play second fiddle.
What if he decides? I mean, I'm just going to record what someone said. That what if he decides to be a godfather from behind the scenes?
If he, or should he?
Good question.
I don't know about the answer to that.
So you can answer it both ways.
No, you see, Atiku is in his, is enjoying himself. He knows that it's a tough game. He knows that President Tinubu is not a pushover, not someone who was already, Tinubu is a politician.
Politics,
Yes, Atiku has a lot of people who believe that he has. I'm not very close to him, but from my observation, I'm not a fan of Atiku. But I'm somebody who is quite sympathetic to Tinubu because of my study of his innovative ways to respond to his challenges and the way he fights. I find him deceptive in his appearing, and I find that a strength. And he has shown, even in the election. So now that he's in the seat of power, he's playing classical politics. You can see how the opposition voice drowns every day. You can see the way they come up with an idea, they think that will fly, and it soon dies before evening. And they look for another, another proposition.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is the game. And so you see how governors of other parties are falling over him, and you hardly find criticism. Peter Obi said the economy is bad, and that the subsidy removal was done badly.
Even in states where he didn't do so well during the elections, the southeastern states,
yes, and they are changing. What did Oti say? Oti contradicted Peter Obi immediately with his own response, saying that the removal was done and done well. So we need to, that's why I'm saying that Peter Obi and Atiku, they need to have their squad behind them. Peter Obi cannot say, this is done badly, and he's only governor of his own party saying it was
And then a former,
it means that he's not forming the
then a
opinion
former
public before.
governor who is in the National Assembly is now telling a governor of a northern state in the PDP to quickly align with the president so that he can enjoy the benefits. And there's this thing about the aligning with the
this
center.
sort of personality politics.
Like,
I mean, in the past, okay,
it happens,
Obasanjo, they rallied behind the party, PDP.
Yeah, but not,
when we see
yeah.
the but not, there
not
almost
the
seems to be a cult of personality around.
which has raised the word.
Because the president has an irresistible persona, meaning he's able to dine and wine with even those he dislikes.
I mean, look at what happened in Lagos during the Salah festivities. People were even expected. The only person that didn't visit was Peter Obi and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar to pay him a courtesy visit. Because you saw, it has a way of, you saw Mr. Segun Shomi was there, Fire
Who, by the way, will be reporting soon.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, will be reporting soon.
Exactly.
So let's state it here clearly. So it won't be news.
One thing is that what I like
viewers.
about this is that we never had a thoroughbred, very astute politician in the seat of power.
He's a professional
We've had them
politician.
sponsored by the politicians behind the scene. Now you have the
But is
politicians.
it beneficial for democracy, as it were?
Well,
because
I
there's a
think-
key word
I-
that has
I
come
think
up, which
you
is
know what I like
psychophancy.
about
We've
it?
seen as
No, what I like about it is that, democracy is such that it's tested to the hills and it survives. What we are seeing is the dynamism of democracy. Now, choices people are now beginning to show that they will make some funny choices.
It's not done at gunpoint, because when the
Obasanjo
five
was-
political parties adopted Abacha as their sole candidate, you would know that it was...
They were forced.
They were forced. But this is... People are voluntarily pledging allegiance and singing these praises.
It's never too late. Whatever it is.
If you are a governor, one of the most important things you need is the flow of resources from federal government to enable you perform.
Yeah, but constitutionally,
but constitutionally, you don't have to
president
rely.
What I'm
cannot
saying is,
hold
I
on to
know,
it.
but all presidents have not held back this money, but they've not generated enough. You know the meaning of generate.
I understand.
You just read
I understand, but
revenue
the
that is
governors
going
have
to
more.
40%.
The governors have more
are
this time.
seeing this flow without. It's not about borrowing. They are seeing it from the engineering of the economy, and they are seeing the flow, and their lives have improved as governors.
Even though they've refused to improve it for the
No, we will get there. Let's see. They are now moving because they've never had it so good. That is their look at the ability to pay off debt and not borrow. It's so refreshing for a leader. You can't head any organization if you don't have
at the end of it, politically speaking now, because when it comes to the crux of the matter, elections, okay, we have a governor that has endorsed Mr. President, but how much of it would it translate to votes? Because the governor is...
I mean, governor of
one
Edo
vote
State
to the
just
other.
promised the
something?
president yesterday
Is it-
2 points.
is it the
Governor
one
of
that
Edo
was-
State just told the
let me
president
tell you- let me
I'm
tell
going
you-
to give you 2.6 million votes.
You see, he's making a
These
statement.
statements
Does he
are
have those
grandiose.
numbers?
Yes.
Has those kind of numbers ever turned out? So what I'm saying is this. The politics of Nigeria, make no mistake, is according to the man that holds the treasury. If you go around the political structures, what they call structures, it's a structure of, putting the resources in the hands of these foot soldiers to mobilize the
Resource
vote.
control.
So is it really a democracy or an auction?
Or
at
is
the end of
resource
the day?
control...
Nigerian
Highest bidder.
democracy is growing, and I am saying that we are still at the very infancy of it. First, you can't have a democracy that is of unique and powerful choices if the citizens are ill-educated, uneducated, and poor.
But what's happening
Those
now?
are dangerous for democracy.
And is that not what we're going through now?
You need to improve.
I mean, and the critical mass of Nigerian electorates, with all due respect, fall under this
That's it.
category. you
So
just
they will be guarded to go and vote and be given something.
The
average Nigerian actually
let's mention it.
They actually see election.
giving bread.
Yes, you see
Bread,
election
Gary.
as an opportunity to make
mentioned.
Wow.
Face cap.
So when
Face cap.
when the women gather there,
T-shirt.
let's go and vote. They know we are coming home with 5,000 or 3,000,
And George, rapper.
and so they go for the.
Every 4 years.
Every 4 years.
But let's look at the Guardian newspaper. Let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper. There are very interesting headlines here. Flawed process, false disclosure rocks universities' accreditation, says the National Universities Commission, NUC. Reactions trail demolition of our church massacre victims' cenotaph. The excuse from the governor is that the Olowo says traditionally you shouldn't have such monuments that are negative facing the palace, but we can always talk about that later. African leaders, activists hinge political apathy on bad leadership. EFCC arrest, another spectacular media announcement by the EFCC. EFCC arrests ex-NNPC chiefs over alleged $7.2 billion fraud. Huge news. They talked about turnaround maintenance of the refineries, and the refineries aren't producing anything. We'll get to that. Abuja safe, no cause for alarm. FG assures amidst U.S. travel warning. So Nigeria is an independent state. We have agency, and the United States of America has come out to issue a travel warning for citizens in Abuja to be careful that they sense something might be wrong. And then the federal government is countering this, saying, you know, Abuja is safe. So mixed bags here. Who do you trust, the United States government or the host government itself? Insecurity, to be urged to investigate alleged complicity of security chiefs. And PDP chief dismisses other coalition as a weak, that's Bode George, as weak attempt to oust Tinubu. And also casualties from Plateau killings rise to 22. Really, really sad development there. But let's start with EFCC arrest ex-NNPC chiefs over alleged $7.2 billion fraud. Are you excited about?
Let's take this call before we take his. We have Elder David calling us. Good morning.
I've done so.
Good morning.
Good morning, This is from Show.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you, the gentleman there. God will bless you. Those that are forming that at that party, you have to look at their records. Yes. As with due respect, as for Atiku, they know very well that he's only doing it not to win any election. It's not for the purpose of getting a record from Guinness Book of Records as the only man who has contested election all over the world in different parties, more than 20 or 30. It may be trying to buy. What record does he have? When you talk of Obi was in Anambra governor, he was impeached. If he had done very well, he could have not been impeached. For Rufai you are talking about, he was one of those who was Director General when they liquidated 34 parastatals of Obasanjo and Atiku that made called jobless. I'm a pensioner, retired 1990. I joined PDP 1990, even before Obasanjo. And it's not because of APC government. May God bless them.
All right.
And that is a part. I pray when you people get to my age, you will retire and enjoy the benefits of what you have worked for. We shall not be getting what for. And many people have died today. El-Rufai have never been a councillor or a chairman anywhere. He finds himself Director General and become a Minister of Federal Capital. All the land you are seeing today that were sold to all PDP members, which we is correcting today. Conclusively, I want to tell you people we should support this government.
All right, thank you.
Forming an appreciation of failure.
All right, thank you, Elder David. I appreciate. I think we can pass our points without smearing individuals or making remarks on them. Just make your points clear and very, very clear without
That was
attacking.
before we took that call from Elder David. I was talking about EFCC's spectacular arrest of NNPC.
You know, I've always said that the NNPC has been a clog in the wheel of the nation's progress. And I told you that with the advent of Dangote, a lot will be revealed. And NNPC, at that time, I predicted that it's on its way out, similar to how other government agencies fail when their sectors are deregulated. So when you see
It
what
exposes.
exposes.
Yeah.
So we've not seen anything. We need to know what has happened to that organization, to our country. The biggest corruption that has ever happened in the petroleum sector. Sanusi under Jonathan was removed because of an alarm that money is missing. The NNPC was not remitting. And it was removed because the government could not take that kind of alarm, which you can't pin, substantiate. He has the idea that something is missing, but he really cannot put a finger to it. Look at turnaround maintenance that they've turned around. Including the last attempt that they actually. So it now looked at Air Nigeria, another Air Nigeria. Another Air Nigeria played out.
And there was a media parley. They took journalists.
In fact, I actually disagree with those who said it didn't work because I was too happy that it's working. I wanted it to work.
We have another caller from Port Harcourt. Maybe he's going to share with us what he thinks about the Warri refinery not working, and most importantly, the arrest of the MD of the Port Harcourt refinery. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Mohammed. Please go ahead.
My name is Alhaji Hassan Mohammed Ndabagi. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I think anybody that is coming to condemn the decision of anybody that wants to flag a new political party, I think it would be unreasonable for any person to think so, because if you look at the checks and balances, the three types of government, the judiciary, legislature, and executive have now been merged into one house, where the checks and balances is no more there, where we are running into one-party system, and which is not good for us as a people. Whether they will succeed or not, that is a question that is waiting for answer for another day. So when we get to the bridge, we will now know how to cross it. Let's see. I want to urge the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to ask a lot of people that are camping productive Nigerians in IDP camp without resettlement and relocation. And I am talking about the Benue State where I grew up and I was born and brought up. People have been in IDP camp since 2009, and somebody is telling me it has become a business where the elite will camp productive men and women without making any effort of resettlement, rehabilitation, and otherwise. And they keep on getting money from donor agencies without any positive value. I think if there's crisis and the people stay for a period of time, the next thing is you talk about resettlement and you talk about rehabilitation and so on and so forth. They keep on saying years upon years. Are we ranching animals? I think the answer is no. So I think I urge the government to take security as a topmost priority so that things will go well for the government and the people will now be productive and they can go back to their farms and business. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Your reaction to that?
Yes, to what he said. We didn't say we are not criticizing them. We're only analyzing and taking a look at the chances and what they are doing. Absolutely. So where no one is against their move, they are being registered and they're giving media space to express themselves. I believe that they need, if you want to fight, the mere fact that you came out does not mean that you are doing a good job. You have to do a good job at it. It's not sentimental. It's a very serious business to want to unseat an incumbent government. And if we look back, the APC did a good job at it, and so they need to buckle up and do more. You see, you need to tell Nigerians a believable story. Criticizing what is going on is the easiest thing. You need to tell us, okay, if Tinubu did wrong here, what are you coming to do differently?
Viable alternative.
Yes, they need to know what they're buying into.
He also talked about the issue of IDP camps.
Yes.
In Borno State, we've seen places like Malam Fatori that had IDP camps. We've seen a sort of resettlement program, because it's an anomaly for people to permanently leave as internally displaced persons in their own countries, in their own country. And he highlighted the situation in Benue there. Why is it? Is it a business model? In whose interest? Is it to leave people in IDP camps for long?
Was it directed? I thought it directed that at the federal government.
Yes.
Was it a proper place to direct that question? That's the Borno State government matter.
Benue State government.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
You see, what you see Tinubu do in his management of Nigerian security is to ask the governors to step into their place. the Constitution has not done very well in defining the role of government. That's why you see in the security summit that they had, Tinubu's proposal was that the Senate, the National Assembly, should tinker and work out more definite and specific roles for governors in management of security in the country. Currently, it's still about, there's nothing so concrete because the military that fashioned the Constitution wanted to have ultimate central power at the same time having a federation.
Which in turn is not
working
good,
now.
It's not working.
So now it's affecting
center.
us because we are practicing the democratic, where sometimes some states are in opposition with the ruling party. So because of that, sometimes you think responses to your state is happening because you are not part of the center. But look at Benue now. When Autumn was there, Autumn was lamenting, with a loud voice, with a lamentatious voice. Why the governor today is exonerating the federal government and praising them, whereas the people are saying we are being killed. You see the contradiction. So it's confusing to the opposition could not see the ammunition. Because the governor says, they have done enough for me. So the president the governor is supposed to tell you that it's not doing well. The governor is telling you the military tried. They made effort. Then the president says, you people should go sit down and solve it. It left it for them. But we are not used to that. But that is how the Nigerian Constitution is.
Yeah.
But we have not practiced it.
That's very key. Anyway, let's look at another story right there at on the front page of The Guardian. Let's stick to The Guardian this time. Gbenga, you did take that story that says Abuja safe, no cause for alarm, no shows amid U.S. travel warning. There's a travel advice from the U.S. Embassy.
So whose intelligence do we follow?
We first, as citizens of a country, you follow your government because the United States do not love us more than our government.
They are dual Nigerian and American citizens.
When they make these things, they've done this some time back and nothing. So it's good, it's an alert, but when you make it public, it affects it's like you go into a father's house and you tell the children they are not safe to the embarrassment of their father. So they should tread cautiously and not promote confusion in the period where Nigeria, because right now you see, yes, the country is moving and things are happening that are not supposed to happen. We're moving to an election era. Let me tell you, the herdsman-farmer clash can be instigated. Let me give you a simple story. You can have a politician or someone who is mischievous go rustle some cattle or kill them. He did it in a village and put the blame on that village. Now, the farmer, the herders, could want to do a reprisal attack. But it was instigated by someone else who deliberately stopped the fire. Okay. It's possible. So the Nigerian government should always look at that factor.
That's another one. Do we have a caller? Let's see if we do. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello,
Mr. Bello.
Okay. Good morning. Yes. Go ahead and make your contribution, please.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah, good morning. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Thank you for the good job doing. Most especially the man at the middle. I really love your analysis. You see, regarding this new party, ADA or whatever, or court masses that they are trying to gather, I don't think Nigeria, we don't need these people, all this old cargo again. You can imagine all the people that are parading themselves. These are the people who pocket Nigeria resources. Are they now saying that they are bringing all what they looted to the overseas country? Are they bringing it back to the economy, or what are they doing? Instead of them to bring all the looted money back to Nigeria and team up with so that Nigeria will be better for everybody. So for me, all what they are doing, they are just parabolating. Like the other man said the other time, that their party is dead or arrival. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Says party dead on arrival.
I hear Bode George also condemning the move.
Yes,
That's
yes.
a weak attempt.
On the
That's
Guardian,
that's a big one.
a lot of PDP stalwarts have come out to say that it's a wrong move, and I think there's a seemingly rush to ensure that these parties are formed on time, so you can register with INEC and then get on. And then we're also hearing that it's not just one coalition. There's another coalition coming. Because while speaking to some of these politicians and trying to reach out to them to speak on this, some of them have said, oh, you know what, the one you see is not ours.
Is it that the opposition isn't doing a proper job at opposition, or the Nigerian electorate is wiser? Because when former President Jonathan was ousted from power when he lost to President Buhari, it was almost anybody but Jonathan. And they've seen how that played out. So the electorate is more coy and more circumspect in choosing, in scrutinizing the opposition. Or is it that the opposition is just doing a terrible job at opposition?
For you to be able to oppose, to play the role of opposition effectively and galvanize yourself to the point of being accepted by the people, you have to be very united. And you have to have formidable forces and individuals.
Because remember Alhaji Lai Mohammed, as publicity secretary of the APC back then,
it was very consistent.
Policy issues, it was consistent.
Yeah. So we need to find that among them. And again, they've not been able to attract political forces that have political capital. When the APC brought a Buhari 12 million votes in the kitty with Tinubu's Southwest control, it was very difficult to defeat them. In this case, they've not been able to show that they have something even in the Southeast. Obi is not even flowing with them. This is more like a northern coalition. A northern coalition.
Yeah. And even that north is still fractured because you have the Ganduje, the Kwankwanso.
The real political players are not with them. Apart from Atiku and El Rufai, who did not even win in his state for the APC in the last, Tinubu lost in Kaduna State.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
It's really a tough one.
They know it every day. They see that it's slipping off their hands. And another thing is that you must also believe that even the media, you have to really have media behind you.
Yeah.
The media is suspicious. The media is not too sure of them. The media is too intelligent for you to simply say, we pay them. The media now, it's not just about paying them. It's not about receiving payment and then you are, no. The media now is even more scrutinized because the media is also in the public eye. The people are also checking the media.
Anyway, let's see if we can take one last story very quickly. Let's go to New Telegraph. We are almost out of time. We have 2 minutes. New Telegraph, just one big story there. 10th NAS, 32 reps defected to different parties in 2 years. What does this say about Nigeria's National Assembly or our parliament?
I mean, 32 out of 360 members.
It's not a big deal.
If you look at it percentage-wise, it's minuscule.
It's not something that is...
So nothing to worry about? No. All right. Anyway.
And also, federal government cuts debt service commitment to 60%, net 6.9 trillion in Q1 25 revenue drive.
Cut what?
The debt service commitment to 60%, net 6.9 trillion in Q1.
Yeah, that is revenue. In terms of revenue.
Yes.
Fantastic. You know, this is the good news that as a country, we love our country. The world is not friendly to people migrating to their countries. We need Nigeria to prosper so that the level of poverty will reduce indeed, not incubating poverty.
And the question is it, what are these monies used for? Is it recurrent expenditure, servicing
It is supposed to be used for infrastructural development so that when our people, the lives are improved, investors will want to come here. We need to there's a lot of work to be done. And I am hoping that governors that are having it so good will put the money in the right place and the citizens will feel it and see it. For example, I am beginning to see that if the president look at the tractors, the agricultural thing, it's a fantastic move. we need to see more of that. And I'm happy that governors are beginning to want to show themselves, because if you have the resources, you want to do something.
But many will argue
we don't
with you
have
that-
street lights.
But many will argue with you that the tractors are just 200. How many? 2,000, I beg your pardon. How many states will be able to
but
share
that
that
is
amongst
how-
themselves?
that's
Secondly, this is not the first time that there are tractors being provided. The question is, there's insecurities. How do you want to use your tractor?
No, see, insecurity is not pervasive in Nigeria, but there is insecurity. The reason is that sometimes we blow them out of proportion. It's where politicians are going to use it anyway, so it's part of the tools of the politicians. But we have insecurity. Every day, people are transversing the length and breadth of Nigeria today. If we go to the motor parks, all the transport companies, they load full as much as they want to do. Cost of transportation has gone up because that's why traveling has reduced. So I think let's be positive. What I want to talk about, there is this argument that why build ranches? That is a private business. But we all know that cattle rearing is a private business. But government must provide infrastructure, just like they provide for airports, for motor parks, for markets, abattoirs. So you need to help that industry so that you can improve on security, so that the farmers and the herders will hardly meet each other in their farms. I think we need to...
Win-win situation.
Yes.
Win-win. Anyway, on a win-win note, we've wrapped up the show today here on Breakfast Central. Thanking you very much for staying with us. It's been 3 hours of fulfilled programming. And our programming doesn't stop here. Jasiri will be up next at 10 a.m. where the ladies will be discussing very insightful, very, very insightful news. And you could say you wouldn't have to miss it at all. Just stay glued to your TVs and you would enjoy it.
Thank you,
Mr.
Mr. Theophilus Akatugba.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure
Thank you so
here,
much.
as
And thanks to our
always.
callers as well. I'm Joe
Well
Hansen.
done.
And I'm Benga Bora. See you tomorrow.